Chef Buff Army, what's good? Today's topic is an extremely important one. What's the difference between soreness and an injury? It's a seemingly simple question, but with not such a simple answer. I was prompted to make this video after one of my subscribers who I talked with in person told me a story. He was working out with a friend and he was doing deadlifts, and he was doing higher rep deadlifts. And his friend was encouraging to do more reps. He said, come on, you can do more reps. And he kept going. He slowly started to feel a pain in his lower lumbar, his lower back. But he kept going because his friend was encouraging him. He's like, oh, muscle fatigue, I'm going to get huge. He went and did a couple additional reps until he couldn't take it anymore, and it felt debilitating his back. His back was sore for several days, and then it turned into several weeks. Turned out he actually got a herniated disc from overexerting himself incorrectly on the deadlift. And I want none of my subscribers to get injured. Injuries will happen when training. Everyone will experience some degree of injury throughout your training career. As a beginner, one of the most important things you can learn is the difference between soreness, which is acceptable, and an injury or tightness, which is unacceptable. Let's go over what soreness is. Soreness is the buildup of waste product in your tissues. Soreness will usually occur the day after or 2 days after training that body part. That area, so let's say you train your biceps, will be sore to the touch. It will usually take a maximum of 3 to 4 days to recover from muscle soreness. You can also usually tell soreness by flexing that area. If you feel it actually in the muscle and not around the joints or the tendons, it's most likely soreness. That's another quick dirty rule of thumb. Usually injuries or tightness will occur around joints. So your elbow joint, your tendons around, your shoulders, your rotator cuffs, your hips, your lower back. Whereas soreness will be located more in the muscle, usually. For example, in your chest. Now let's define what an injury or tightness is. An injury usually occurs immediately. It's a sudden onset and acute sharp pain. So if you're squatting and all of a sudden you feel a fast pinch, right say in your quads, stop immediately. Injuries are usually classified also as a discomfort. Discomforts in an area while training it is also another great indicator that it's either tight or potentially being injured. Meaning if you're doing tricep press downs and you're not really feeling in your tricep, but more in your elbow area, you're potentially putting too much stress in that area. So if you get a sharp pain in your hip when you squat, that's not normal. You need to get that checked out. I go to do my deadlift. I set up. I'm about to grip and rip it. All of a sudden, I do the first rep and I feel a sharp pain right in the back of my hamstring. I take 2 minutes off and that pain is still not going away. In fact, it still feels pretty tight. I stretch my hamstring out, I foam roll it, and even so, after several minutes, it still feels pretty tight. Like an idiot, I go back to do another rep. As soon as I do that next rep, I feel an excruciatingly painful sensation in the back of that hamstring. I just fucked up and got myself injured. That minor strain that was occurring back in my hamstring that I wasn't aware of just turned into a major strain. That sudden, sharp, acute, uncomfortable pain is an injury. That localized, slightly burning sensation in my muscle is soreness. The key to preventing injury and tightness in the first place is to make sure you're mobile. So you're doing your dynamic warm-ups, you're doing your foam rolling, and you're stretching. Ensuring that there's no tight areas in your body and that anatomically you're sound. So from a biomechanical standpoint, you can squat perfectly normally, deadlift fine, and bench press without any problems. If you're still really confused because you're a beginner and you're not quite sure if you're sore or if you're injuring yourself, remember, soreness will always occur after you train, whereas an injury will be a sudden acute pain that's uncomfortable during training. Usually it'll be around a joint and it'll be one-sided. So on the bench press, all of a sudden your shoulder feels like it's about to snap. That's an injury waiting to happen. Differentiating between soreness and injury is very important for continued progress, because no one wants to fuck up their shit. Lift big with intensity, but also be smart and safe. Guys, that is the video. Make sure to like, share with friends, and subscribe. I'll be seeing all of you pain-free in the next video.